Burnout has a language problem. The World Health Organization classifies burnout as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress and characterized by exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced professional efficacy. We have statistics to quantify it, frameworks to break it down, and self-assessment tools to identify it. However, what we don't have is a shared visual language, a way of showing rather than telling what the specific interior experience of burnout actually looks like, something that can hold the precise texture of shame without a visible failure attached to it, the particular quality of the personalization or the flatness of apathy that gets consistently mistaken for laziness. That's where my Burnout collection comes in. Unnamed is a burnout-themed art collection that attempts to provide the shared visual language of burnout. 12 original paintings, 12 emotional states, 12 portraits of what burnout creates inside of high-achieving women. Burnout is not a niche experience. A 2024 survey found that 59% of women reported compared to 46% of men, and that gap is getting wider. More than 50% of women in leadership positions report feeling burnt out. A 2025 mental health report found that 68% of women in the UK report feeling burnt out and 45% saying they are emotionally exhausted on a daily basis. These are not small numbers. They point to a systemic pattern in which women in high-demand professional roles carry sustained depletion while continuing to perform at high levels, often without a language to describe what is costing them. That language gap is what this collection aims to solve. The decision to make paintings came directly from the experience of trying to write about these states and finding that words often fall short. Words like isolation, shame, or worthlessness are too clinical to describe what's happening in someone's mind or soul. Visual art making, on the other hand, has been shown to significantly reduce distress and improve well-being in adults experiencing chronic illness and emotional difficulties. Engagement with visual art, both making and viewing, is associated with reduced cortisol level, lower reported stress, and increased sense of meaning. The mechanism through which this happens seems to be preverbal. When you look at an image that accurately holds your emotional experience, the recognition arrives before the analytical mind can catch up. You feel seen before you can explain it. That preverbal moment is exactly where language, however careful, cannot reliably reach. This is not art therapy in the clinical sense. The collection is not a therapeutic intervention, but it is designed to create the moment of recognition that language has repeatedly failed to provide. All 12 pieces are painted in acrylic. This is a deliberate, consistent choice because acrylic records the gesture of the mark honestly without softening. It dries fast, so decisions are final and revisions remain visible on the surface as evidence of the process. The paintings are portraits of how each emotional state feels in the body, and they use symbolism to convey how each of these emotions affects the women carrying them. Here are the 12 emotional states. Shame is being haunted by the people who used to make you feel deficient, and that follows you in every new beginning, in everything you try to do. It's like a constant feeling of being followed by someone who bullied you and criticizes every decision you're making. Isolation, needing to hide in order to exist, not because you don't want to be around other people, but because it's so exhausting that you just need to hide in order to recover. Depersonalization, wearing your own skin as a costume. You have designed this persona that you wear every time you step outside of your own comfort zone and that fits in society without raising any red flags. Detachment, having been disappointed so many times that the only thing you can do is just emotionally detach from outcomes, from the work you're doing, and from the person who you used to be. Cynicism, the disappointment that keeps accumulating over years of trying your best, yet still struggling. Hopelessness, standing in a tunnel and not being able to see the end of it because the tunnel has gone on for so long that imagining the light at the end of the tunnel just feels impossible. Helplessness, the learned helplessness that comes after trying and not being able to see any satisfying conclusion to your effort. Apathy, watching your own life go by from the outside of your body. Irritability, being pushed to the edge by everything around you, even the things that shouldn't matter. Physical depletion, having walked through life for so long until you reach a point where giving up physically feels like the only option. Worthlessness. Having poured yourself into society or into relationships to the point that there's nothing left for you to give. And the last one is inescapability, a feeling that you're drowning in your own life, and whenever you're trying to reach out for help, you are just met with even more resistance. These 12 states do not occur in isolation. They accumulate, they compound, and they interact. The woman carrying inescapability usually struggles with worthlessness. The apathetic woman is usually simultaneously exhausted and physically depleted. And the woman who performs fine because she has detached herself from the outcomes, from the work that she's doing, and from herself, is usually managing her shame for detaching at the same time. Each piece can stand alone, but together they are a complete visual portrait of the interior experiences of high-functioning burnout. If one of these 12 states resonated with you, I made a painting for it. The collection is called Unnamed, and it comes out on the 30th of June.